Lots of room here. So on that last art again, there are many arts that people say, oh, this is a 20-year art. Stuff like that. It takes 20 years to learn. And the basic choreography doesn't take that long. But to make it part of your body so that it's just as easy to do that, that's what. So this is one of those things. So I've been working on this on and off since it's one of those strange things, and there's a few of those arts where, like Hanakaishi, like, why does this work? Right? This shouldn't do anything. But if you can get it correctly, it works really nicely and very soft. You don't feel a lot of tension or power from the person doing it. But the basic idea is turning your body, bringing your hand. So remember, what happens here is always connected to what happens here. And if this is going to move, those have to move. So if you're going to move your one point, if I just do this, there's a certain point where it puts tension on my knee or whatever. I have to move my foot in order to turn around. And so practice, when you're doing these kinds of things, again, it's that neck brace thing. I need to turn around. Except we're not doing this. Turn around. It's good. But this is a much, this way you get to use the power of your hips by just turning. But it means your feet have to turn. And so a good place to practice this stuff is on the dance floor. So when you're dancing, use your Aikido. Don't throw anybody, but use the movements. Use the movements of your hips. Get a chance to play with it outside of the dojo. That's how I learn. I play little games with myself when I'm wandering around the world. What can happen here? What can I use? Oh, look, that's fun. And just entertain yourself. If it only happens here, that's okay. But it's only this big, right? The amount of time we spend in the dojo is small compared to the rest of our lives. How can you take the things you learn here and you can really practice, drill into them here? How can I take that out there and use it? A million ways. So range of effectiveness, right? Very important. How far away am I from my center? Maybe I have an orange tree, I want to pick oranges, right? But my hand only goes this high. So what do? Well, I can jump. That gets me a little bit more. I can get a tool. I can climb a ladder. So there's range of effectiveness, in your physical world, but there's also range of effectiveness here. What do I know? So when we're all kids and we're going to school, we know this much of the taught world of what humans trade with each other. But we have to go beyond that. Our range has to constantly grow. So the same thing in your practice. Don't stay at a certain place. When you're practicing, you learn something, you get good at it, don't stop there. Keep going. And start to find out, once you get good at the basic physical choreography of it, that's stage one. That's basically Shodan. Right? You can do the movements, you remember them, you know their names, blah, blah, blah. But then you have to go deeper and, how do you make that part of yourself? How does it become ingrained in your body? How does it fire the neurons in your brain? And then, I always take that example of Kobayashi Sensei. He never stopped working on the art. He was always refining it. So like the art we were just doing, like I said, when we first did it, coming all the way through here, hand over the shoulder, and you try to crank the shoulder, and then, it became this little thing that he did. And, that's a long journey. That's 20 years at least. You can do the same. So that when you get to be old, effortless thing. It looks like nothing, right? Because part of what you're doing is also you're training the structure of your body so that you have a way of taking energy from your partner. It goes through your body down to a stable base and then back at them. How can you move that? So other arts work on that more directly, although they never talk about it. So one of the things I've been exploring a little bit, and again, it's very new. So, and it's that idea of how can we move, and how can I? So when he pushes on me, how can I stay stable here without tensing up or pushing back on him, and let that energy go back to him? So push. We send it back. And so an early way of looking at it is to just a little pop. And I move his center. If I'm really tense, just extend your key, I'll be tense. Right? He doesn't move, I'm the one that bounces off him. I want to be the one that, as I move, and just, again, I know this much about it, but it's part of what you're trying to learn with your structures. Can you start to move this other person without really doing a lot here? Or he pushes on you, and then he receives the force. And so these joints have to be unlocked. So, and that's as much as I can explain to you right now. Feel. Okay?